In the world of Angular development, ensuring your code works as intended is crucial. Without proper unit tests, bugs can sneak into your code, leading to headaches and wasted time trying to fix them. But no fear, unit tests here to save the day. Unit tests provide confidence that each piece of your code works as ensuring a smoother development process and a higher quality product. Discover Jasmine and Karma tools or unit tests in Angular with me. So in order to do unit tests in Angular, we can simply use Jasmine, which is an open source framework, web behavior driven framework for testing JavaScript, which goes well with Karma. On the other hand, Karma is the default runner for tests in Angular applications. It controls the creation of HTML files, the opening of web browsers, the execution of tests, and the return of test results to the command line. So let's start by creating our Angular project using ng-new with the name of the project. And when we open our project, it contains one component, which is the root component. And inside of it, we can see that it contains the spec file, which is the file responsible for our unit tests or our specs. Because in Angular, we can say that a unit test is a spec, and can see that we have an envelope of this test, and this envelope is test suite of our tests of the component. On the other hand, we can skip the creation of the spec file using the skip tests as we can see here. And now let's create a service that will contain our unit tests. It will be a simple service that we can call calc
are created.
using ng generate service. We will use the command ng generate service and the name of the service, which will be called calc. And we can see as we run the command, the new files are created. The service, which is the ts file, and the spec file dot spec dot ts file, which is the file which will contain our unit Jasmine tests. Okay, now we will remove all the unit tests that are implemented by default, and we will try to create our own custom unit Jasmine tests. Let's first create a simple function, which is a multiply function, to apply on it some unit tests. It returns simply the product of two variables, and we will create our test suite for this function. We will add a description for it. We can say calc service as a description name. And let's define our specification. So we can give the description, a simple description, which is, should multiply two numbers. And inside of this function, we create an instance of our service. Then we call our function using sample numbers, and put the result into a constant, which is called the result here. And we can define our test as an expectation of the result. And we have here several functions that we can apply, such as to be true, to be close to, and etc. And we can see that we can define the function, the assertion function, to be, which is expecting an identical result to the value that we will put. Okay, uh, and the tests are executed, and we can see that it contains a successful result of the unit tests of the service. Okay, now let's Now, let's see if we make some mistake, for example, when we are developing our application or our function, instead of putting a multiplication, we put an addition, for example. And when our test is run, we can see that we have a failure here because the result is not equal to the expected value. And as we correct our mistake, we can see that the test is successful again. So this is how we can do unit tests in Angular.